This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. A veteran Los Angeles police officer is facing an investigation after footage from his body-worn camera appeared to show him groping a recently deceased woman's breasts. The officer and his partner, also a man, had responded to a call about a possible dead body in a residential unit, according to a report from the Los Angeles Times. When the officers determined that the woman was dead, one of the officers left the scene to fetch something from his patrol car. At that point, the accused officer turned off his body camera before he allegedly began fondling the dead woman's breasts, according to LAPD officials. A person briefed on the incident, who spoke with the Associated Press, said footage of the incident was only captured because of the continuous 2-minute buffering period that the cameras are equipped with, resulting in the act being recorded during the 2 minutes before the camera was turned back on. Even the Los Angeles Police Protective League appeared eager to distance itself from the alleged ghoulish act. This week, a bald eagle smashed through the window of an H&R tax preparation office in Norfolk, Virginia, and the scene was caught on camera. The eagle bounced around inside the office for a few minutes before eventually flying away, just as animal rescue crews were arriving on the scene. Wildlife rehabilitator Rochelle Stewart says she arrived mere minutes after the bird flew away. According to the Mind Unleashed, Harry Patterson, who works at a nearby insurance office, noticed the animal inside the building and decided to get some footage. It appears the bald eagle broke the window before getting inside the building. According to the Virginia Pilot, the eagle struck the glass sometime Monday morning, leaving a hole nearly 3 feet wide. An H&R Block representative said the glass was replaced and the window fully repaired later that afternoon. The office is closed for the season and won't be open until tax time rolls around. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The producers of Sesame Street have responded to the controversy over the recent New Yorker cover that showed Bert and Ernie as a gay couple celebrating the repeal of DOMA. Sesame Workshop released a statement today saying, quote, "We have never viewed Bert and Ernie as a gay couple, but as two friends who will do absolutely anything to get their rocks off. These pansexual perverts cannot be categorized in your narrow gay, straight, or bisexual paradigm. They're into some pretty sick shit." On their website, PBS released a long list of the duo's strange sexual fetishes, which range from shoving ice into their anuses so that they can shit cold water into women's mouths, to castrating stray dogs and then masturbating onto the animals' bleeding wounds. Although they're flattered that fans have turned the characters into gay icons, the producers explained that calling them gay would be inaccurate. Quote, "They will literally f*** anything that moves." The producers also added that Oscar the Grouch is neither male nor female, and that its trash can is designed to hide a lower body that is just a Lovecraftian monstrosity of hundreds of interlocking penises and vaginas.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. The number, 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. It's Mark with you.
And Jay.
And Jay, normally we bring some show prep in. Everybody can call in and talk about whatever they want, because that's what we do here on Free Talk Live. But I got one that I thought that would probably catch people's attention.
Do you hear the music, Mark?
I do. I hear some music. Yeah, I got a story out of Illinois coming from the Telegraph, which of course you got to go to Great Britain to get good news stories on this kind of stuff. But
are their journalists better?
I don't know. At least they report on different things.
They're not worried. Probably not worried as much about spewing some truth about the U.S. because if you, as a journalist in the U.S., you start talking bad about some of the big money or what might be big money influence. you might have some problems. Journalists get fired here. Maybe they're less. They can be a little more truthful, maybe, when they're not talking about their own, particular jurisdiction.
It seems like the only thing journalists want to talk about right now is the impeachment proceedings. I was listening to NPR today. I had some errands to run, and it's one of the talk stations in town. There's another one, and I just thought I'd listen in to the impeachment proceedings, and they just kept going. Well, I listened to NPR, and then here's the impeachment proceedings. I'm like, all right, I'll listen for a little while. And they just kept going and going and going. It's not like it was a little piece of it. It was the whole day. That's their programming.
On the random podcasts I listen to throughout the day, a lot of it's been about impeachment. And even Jesse Ventura and Jimmy Dore, they're saying like, well, the mainstream media is all about impeachment. What else is going on? Look around. They are wagging the dog so you don't see what the tail is doing.
I'm not sure what is going on otherwise, but I can tell you this. It gave me an opportunity to be sort of introspective about this, because I can tell you my feeling is this is dumb. This is a bunch of to do about nothing. I'd like to call it Democrat for Benghazi. So, we had all those hearings about Hillary Clinton, and you knew nothing was going to happen.
Right.
And I tend to think nothing's going to happen.
If anything that they're accusing Trump of happened to Obama or to Hillary, nobody would they wouldn't even care. It wouldn't even be media worthy.
And one wonders whether, certainly some chief executive in the recent past, has withheld something in order to get something out of another country. I mean, what they're calling a quid pro quo, which isn't against the law. It's just, it's a way of bargaining, basically. A quid pro quo is common, I would think, in business and politics and these sorts of things. Doesn't surprise me. And I don't think there's anything wrong with the chief executive investigating what might very well be a crime.
What would you say the actual, I don't really have a good one formulated, but the actual definition of quid pro quo is?
If you buy my product, I'll buy yours.
Oh, okay.
And, that's
right. That makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, that's basically it. So so I got to look at myself. That's where I'm falling on this. I'm falling on the, I guess, pro-Trump side. Is I think this is kind of silly, and the Democrats are shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And there's no proof of this. Even I was listening to this guy. He's a socialist, Jimmy Dore, but he's actually really good on a lot of like this stuff. I don't know if you ever heard of Jimmy Dore.
No, I don't know the name.
So he's like this comedian. He goes around doing these stand-up comedy routines, but it's all political. And he's been just destroying the Democrats about the impeachment stuff. And this guy is a Democrat, and he's there. He's been for months. He's like, yeah, impeach him for dropping bombs and over in foreign countries, impeach him for the nonsense with Venezuela and the nonsense here and nonsense there, which is all that stuff is more Democrats more guilty of that as far as I'm concerned than Trump is, and as we know they're not going to talk about it, but there's a reasons to impeach a guy. But Jimmy Dore was playing some clips of the one guy, some I don't know, senator was asking him like, so did you listen to this phone call? Oh yeah, and where was the quid pro quo? Where did this happen? Well,
it's inferred.
It was my opinion or something.
Mm-hmm.
The guy said, I forget exactly who while I was plowing snow yesterday, I was listening to this, and but it just anytime so when Bill Clinton got impeached over the nonsense of the Monica Lewinsky thing, I think that was a total BS impeachment.
Well, how did you feel at the time?
At the time, I go, who cares if the dude, got a little loving from an intern?
Yep.
That's like, and I was a teenager at the time. The way I felt about it? That's the man who has his finger on the red button and can send a nuke anywhere in the world. And if his old lady didn't give him enough relief, then I'm happy someone else was there to frickin' do it, so the stress wouldn't come in. Now, that was an ignorant teenager.
Yeah. In my case, I was, I was sort of unimpressed by the reasoning for the
impeachment.
But I was, a Republican, and I wanted to see it happen. And I suspect there's plenty of people in America that feel the same way, only they're Democrats and they want to see it happen. And listening, I think my opinion has changed on the subject. And here's why. It's not that I think, guilty or anything like that. I think that one of the constitutional scholars that was testifying today sort of made what I consider to be a pretty good point, which was that the message needs to be sent that the president can't continue to grow their power to the point of being a king. And if an impeachment occurs, then it is not going to go through the Senate in all likelihood, in which case it's just bad news for the Democrats. Right. So I don't have any problem with that in the election. I'm fine with that. Or B, it sends and B probably sends a message to presidents in the future that, hey, this is now an impeachable thing, whatever it is. And I guess I want the presidents to tread lightly. So
I don't want a leader. I want a public servant as a president, and I want them to be freaking scared of the people. I want the cops to be scared of the people. I want all the politicians to be very, very afraid of torches and pitchforks.
And if the Republicans get mad and then go ahead and impeach the next liar and thief that takes over the head liar and thief position, good.
Yeah,
and if the Democrats get mad and they go ahead and impeach the next one and then it goes ping pongs back and forth, excellent. Because I'll tell you what, I don't know what the United States government has done in the last month, but I'm going to say probably not much new, that there's not many new laws that have gone through because everybody's wrapped up in this impeachment thing.
From what I understand, now when I remember I was about 17-ish, maybe 16 when the Clinton impeachment was happening, and I used to listen to this guy, Chuck Harder, on shortwave radio. He did Radio Free America. Do you recall Chuck Harder?
No, but anything on shortwave makes me chuckle.
And anyways, when I was 14 years old, that was when NAFTA was happening, and 13, 14 years old, and I actually wrote an essay about NAFTA in my 7th grade English class. And my dad bought from Chuck Harder for like $68. They sent you the whole NAFTA treaty. It came like, you ever buy a big box of print paper, like the biggest single box you can buy?
Yeah.
That's what it came in.
Right. So you go to Staples, right? And they've got this box of several, a dozen reams or 10 reams of paper.
It was like 4,600 pages. And then there was a 80-page like Cliff Notes that came with it too. Well, that was what, you basically bought the Cliff Notes and you got the whole darn thing. I think the shipping cost more back in the day than...
I bet.
But it was like $68 or something, and my dad bought it, and so I did this whole report on it. But so shortly after that was the Lewinsky thing, Monica Lewinsky, and what had actually happened, and Chuck Harder was talking about this, was a Chinese trade accord was going on, and Hillary was huge with Walmart. Her law firm that she worked for, Rose Law Firm, was like the big Walmart representative. They're based out of Arkansas, Walmart, and so they made this trade deal. Well, I could tell you before the before the Clinton impeachment, they were making egg cartons like crazy in Thorndike, Massachusetts, where I grew up. There was a bunch of these mills. They were making all kinds of textile products and things. And shortly after that is when that parking lot didn't have any more cars in it anymore when I drive by it. And so that was the wag the dog situation. So what's going on now? Something's going on we don't know about. And these bastards in government, these parasites, always take advantage of the masses being distracted. Always do.
What is going on? The number's 855-450-3733. Maybe you've got some insight. It's 855-450, free as in Free Talk Live. And don't forget our Discord lines. You go to discord.freetalklive.com. That's discord.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Do you wish you could do whatever you wanted in your dating and relationship life, even if you're married? Do you wish you made more money on less hours? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Come to our free webinar with a live Q&A with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
Besides, we just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in. Talk about whatever's on your mind. We are here for you on Free Talk Live. That's what we do. Want to tell you about betterplans.net because I know what they do too. They offer you health insurance at a much lower cost than what you might be used to. Well, I mean, we all know that Obamacare was supposed to lower prices and make health insurance more available to everybody.
Oh, I knew it wasn't. Every single government plan ever engineered in my life, like the Homeland Security Act, just makes it is total opposite.
People keep falling for these stories, though, that the government's going to fix it. I am of the opinion that Obamacare is essentially put in place in order to raise prices to the point that the only solution is universal health care.
Sure.
At this point, who's still paying for insurance premiums at this point? Pretty much the government's taking care of all the poor people, all the old people, all the kids. I mean, only thing that's left is people between people between the ages of probably 25 and 65. So that's a 40-year span, not too much, that make enough money that they can't hide it, that they have to buy their own health insurance.
It's essentially another tax, especially when they, try to call it mandatory.
And that's exactly what it is. You don't have a choice. It's a tax. As a matter of fact, the Supreme Court thinks it was too. Yeah, betterplans.net. You can call them at 800-714-1802 to get a fast and free quote. The truth is that you can get affordable health care plans that cost hundreds of dollars less per month. However, the first step is to become aware of how the wool's being pulled over your eyes. You can download their free ebook, Dirty Little Secrets, at betterplans.net. See sample pricing. As a matter of fact, $145 per month for a single, and even greater savings for families and businesses. You got access to educational videos and a free quote, plus your ebook, Dirty Little Secrets, betterplans.net. Obamacare enrollment deadline is December the 15th, so don't delay. It's like right around the corner. Visit betterplans.net or call 800-714-1802. Betterplans.net, 800-714-1802. I know my listeners are going to be interested in this because this is right up their alley. Betterplans.net.
Obamacare don't apply to me. I'm not a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, nor do I exercise such benefits or privileges.
Well, there you go. Let's go to Dave calling in from Colorado. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Gentlemen.
Hello, Dave.
I have some Carla Garrett news.
All right. Carla Garrett, the former president of the Free State Project.
I plowed her driveway yesterday and the day before.
We could use 10 more Jay Noon, but we could also use 10 more Carla Garretts.
Agreed.
So what she's been doing lately is she's actually managed to hijack Facebook for liberty.
How so?
Not just
this sounds remarkably unlikely. Go ahead.
She's been doing a good job at it, actually.
All right.
So I guess they had this thing that's like called Giving Tuesday or something like that. It's like this point in time where if you give a certain amount of money to a cause or something like that, then Facebook matches it.
Okay.
And so she did that for the Free State Project.
All right.
So I don't, I think it's too late now.
Does Facebook make a big deal about it? I don't understand. So, I mean, basically she got her dollars matched by Facebook?
Yeah, it was some sort of first come, first served thing. I think they were matching up to $7 million. I don't know how the details work, but it's the first people that donated got their donations matched by Facebook, and you could donate to any 501c3 or something like that. That was the impression.
Good move.
It was nice to see them repurposed for a better purpose.
Well, there you go.
Another thing Carla's been doing is I've watched a couple of them now, and she's been doing these Facebook live shows with a couple of local city or county politicians, and she. One thing I really appreciate about Carla is that she's just got a good way of presenting a libertarian idea without going too far and upsetting, liberals or hardcore conservatives. She's pretty good at that, and when you offend somebody, no matter how right you are, it's
not successful. It's
right.
not a successful system in convincing people of anything. I mean,
I call it dumping gas on seeds instead of planting them in the ground, essentially.
Right. Yeah.
And she does a good job of planting seeds of liberty.
Yeah. So for those who don't know her background, she ran for New Hampshire Senate twice unsuccessfully on the Republican Senate ticket, and she was also she was arrested for trying to film the Ware Police Department during a traffic stop, and she took them to federal court and got this huge settlement out of them. Yep,
she did a good job there. That was, I believe, the guy was that Kelly that she actually sued? Was he the one, Sergeant Kelly, that arrested her for wiretapping?
I don't remember that, but I do know that one of the officers that was involved in her arrest and chaining her to a pole, by the way, was I think he got in a lot of trouble later on, shot somebody and all kinds of.
Yeah, I think it's the same guy. Yeah, he got shot a guy in a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot. As the guy was leaving, once he found out that it was a setup and he was getting busted for basically in trafficking the wrong species of salad.
Well, Dave, thanks for the call.
You're welcome.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450. Free. Got an article here from The Telegraph. And this one surprised me. I didn't expect this to come across my desk the way it did, but here it is. A city in Illinois has announced it will create a reparations fund for its African-American community through a new tax on marijuana sales. Now, I'm unclear how they connect marijuana sales to reparations, but there's the lead-in in the story. Recreational use of the drug will become legal in the state from January, and officials in Evans, it's an odd way to phrase that, in Evanston, Illinois, which is 12 miles north of Chicago, have voted to approve a 3% tax on the sales of marijuana to fund local reparations programs. The tax is expected to generate between $500,000 and $750 million annually for the reparations fund, which will be capped at a total of $10 million over the next 10 years. The city's lawmakers will meet next week to determine exactly how the fund will be distributed. And I think that's the most important part of all this. I'm not entirely against reparations. I think that there's a way to make an argument for it. So, for instance, who participated in slavery?
And also, who's the victim? Where's the victim?
Right.
Can you prove your damage?
Well, I think that I think a victim can be shown in so much as if my ancestor was to get 40 acres and a mule, and all of my ancestors from that time on had been good with their money, then perhaps I would have something, maybe 40 acres and a mule, maybe more. So I think there's an argument for reparations in that way, but I would need to, it's the devil's in the details.
How about reparations for all the retirees that lost their money in Enron?
Yeah, well,
what happened to that money? Those guys who went to jail for that?
I don't know. I lost some money in it. The number 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live. Use the Discord lines at discord.freetalklive.com.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
Your product is absolutely amazing. I can't tell you how my life has been changed so completely. I'm just at a loss to describe. I don't know how I could ever tell Dr. Howard and Susan, his dear wife, how much I deeply appreciate all of the work they put into this magnificent product. I mean, there's so many things that have improved, and I'm only just beginning.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealestate.com
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450. Free as in freedom. It's Mark with you.
And Jay.
Call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. We got a story here from the Telegraph talking about reparations going on in Illinois. And I'm always curious about this topic because I think it's very complicated, wrought with all kinds of problems.
Of all the taxes, I don't really personally mind these cannabis taxes because I think it's a joke. What the cannabis tax does, and that's so excessive, is it just drives it drives a black market. I know a bunch of people who use cannabis. I don't think I know anybody that goes to a dispensary anywhere. And I knew a ton of people in Colorado, and none of them went to a dispensary because they just bought it from the same guy they always did. But it's just cheaper now.
Edge Wallet. Go over there to edge.app and download the Edge Wallet. I think you'll be happy that you did. They are available. It's available for iOS and Android models. You can buy, sell, trade, and securely hold cryptocurrencies in your Edge Wallet. And pretty much your whole crypto life can be managed there through the Edge Wallet. As a matter of fact, that's their goal, is that you can manage your funds entirely with the Edge Wallet. It's user-controlled. You control your own money. It has support for pretty much every major cryptocurrency out there. Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar. There's a veteran team they've been building since 2014, which is basically, forever in crypto land. Secure your freedom with edge.app. It's edge.app. By the way, I think one of the best points about the Edge Wallet is that you got a username and password as opposed to, 24-word mnemonics and whatever else has been trotted out in the past. Go check it out, edge.app.
And with these multi-currency wallets, I was just talking to a guy last night about this, but another guy I know had one, the phone got broke, and he had several different, currencies on one particular wallet.
Yep.
And when he backed it up, he only backed up the Bitcoin Core. And I guess you're
I bet that made him sad.
Supposed to back up like the Bitcoin Cash, the Dash, the Monero, like all just like a different seed phrase for each individual.
I imagine that differs for different wallets. I've had different. I've had mnemonics that will bring all your currencies up. And
I don't really want to say what wallet it is, but
let's not.
I'm not 100% sure.
But it's not the Edge Wallet.
No, it wasn't that, and it wasn't Jack's. And anyways, but yeah, he was. I mean, he didn't have like millions of dollars in there, but he's
probably sad. Nobody likes to lose money.
He definitely lost a few $100.
Let's go on with this story from the Telegraph. The city's lawmakers will meet next week to determine exactly how the funds will be distributed, but one idea being proposed for the money is to go towards things like skills training or financial assistance for down payments on a home in the area. The fund will be available to all of the city's black residents, rather than merely those that can prove they had an ancestor who was enslaved, as long as they can meet certain residency criteria.
So are they getting cash out of this fund?
Well, it says for training, financial assistance, down payments, and on a home in the area, that kind of thing.
Sounds like they'll overpay some, firm that's buddy with, town politicians to do this service.
Right, and then
kind of like public school.
Residents get 75 cents on the dollar or whatever it is.
Probably 7 cents on the dollar.
So one of these things that made me wonder is I don't. Illinois was a northern state. Exactly how long did they have slavery? They were a state for a period of for a long time. So, I mean, is it obviously slavery is terrible, but I can see how the United States government could be held responsible. I think that slaves were imported in the United States for 18 years. Obviously, Great Britain had a much more of a role in this than the U.S. government did.
Well,
I mean, if we're going to have these entities that get to last forever and ever, then I guess they're responsible. The Supreme Court said they're persons, right? So they're responsible for their actions.
Well, persons are defined in every statutory construction manual I ever read as corporation, trust, or other legal entity.
Yeah.
I am very clear that I am not a person. I don't exercise the benefits of a person. I say this all the time. I am quite simply a man.
Yeah. So if these things are persons.
Oh, yeah. Corporations are. Trusts are. Absolutely.
Yep. Are they responsible for all their actions in the past? And on one side, you could say that, well, the people that composed whatever government that was existing at the time, they're gone.
Well, right around...
Or you could say that, well, the entity remains. So the entity is responsible for the actions of the dead people.
Well, corporations only had a charter that would last like 8 years before the Second World War. And it was either Rockefeller or Rothschild or, a bunch of industrialist guys who had a bunch of power and a bunch of money. Basically changed this around somehow during World War II. But there was Professor CJ's Dangerous Podcast. He does a really good episode about basically the history of corporations. And I tell all these people who are like anti-corporation and hate corporations that the thing is corporations exist because government gives them an authority to exist.
Sure.
Not a single corporation in any state in the United States exists without pending approval of that particular Secretary of State's office. And basically all corporation becoming a corporate entity does, or creating one, is takes liability off the actual people involved and essentially distributes it to taxpayers, and whether it's through insurance or whatever. But
well, a corporation is basically the government giving birth. So
that's a great way to put it.
It's right. You have the state, and the state is incorporated. You'll note that towns are incorporated, the states are incorporated. They're incorporated. So they don't have responsibility for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth with a corporation is the people.
They're actually charities. All the municipal corporations are registered as charities. Massachusetts State Police are actually law enforcement councils that are nonprofits registered with the IRS. And the Massachusetts Supreme Court, like 4 years ago, ruled in favor of the state police, saying that they did not have to follow the public records request laws because they are not governments.
Well, that's I would disagree with their assessment, but that's what they decided to do in Massachusetts. If you move there, you get what you deserve, frankly.
That's why I left.
Yeah, I mean it's a miserable place. But when it comes to governments, I feel like, oh, okay, I think there's an argument to be made that these incorporated entities are responsible for their actions, and certainly the United States government allowed the importation of slaves for 18 years and allowed the sale and ownership of slaves for decades more than that. So I think there's an argument that there's some responsibility to be had there. Exactly how reparations would go into effect, I think, is really the difficulty here, because the devil's in the details, and nobody ever gets things without negotiations. This is interesting to me that this town intends to do reparations, but they haven't decided exactly how that's going to happen. And so, I mean, do the people who get reparations in this town, are they no longer eligible for any reparations that may come down the pike later?
I mean, I look at this as, so if people's ancestors who were enslaved, they're going to get reparations. I mean, which is cool. I'm fine with that as long as I don't have to pay for it. And
I didn't know anybody.
But my one of my best friends, his grandmother and grandfather on both sides were in concentration camps. He had aunts and uncles that great aunts and great uncles that died, that lost feet, that did a death march from one concentration camp to another. He's got all the memoirs of his grandmother and stuff that he's been reading, and I think he's owed some reparations. If the ancestors of slaves are owed reparations, shouldn't the ancestors of victims of the Holocaust, victims of the United States government dropping bombs on their weddings?
And who determines who's black? Who determines who's American Indian? Who determines who's Jewish? So what if you only had one ancestor who...
Carla Greek is an African American.
She's from the continent of Africa,
right.
And
and she's white.
This is very complicated stuff. I mean, it looks easy and it looks simple, and it's not. 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network. Call or click Flash Routers today at 1-866-509-5817 or FLASHROUTERS.com. That's 1-866-509-5817 or FlashRouters.com. Protect your wireless home network today with Flash Routers.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Email is easy, instant, and free, and that can be real embarrassing. Email lacks the eye contact and body language you get in face-to-face conversation, or the tone of voice and other nuance you hear in a telephone conversation. Email is just words, often few words. We're all smothering in spam, so we often reply in terse fashion that's easy to misunderstand. And email doesn't cost you a postage stamp, and it lacks the deliberation time it'd take to walk to the snail mail box. So it's easy to succumb to the "oh yeah" stimulus response trap. When in doubt, don't snap back at snippy messages you get. You may have mistaken the sender's intent. And unless you're sending AOL to AOL, there's no unsend. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. Mark with you.
Jay.
The number, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. I want to tell you about the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. And I want to thank Joe Maraca, who is a very long-time amplifier. He's a platinum amplifier, and that's $25 a month. But we ask $5 a month, and we appreciate anybody like Joe who goes ahead and does $25. I've met Joe multiple times personally, and that's one of the little bennies of the AMP program that you never really hear about is that, yeah, pretty much you come to town, we'll hang out with you.
Oh, yeah.
So go check it out, amp.freetalklive.com, if you want a radio program that continues to make it so that people can call in and share their opinions, no matter what they are, here on the airwaves. If you want a radio program that stands for liberty every issue, every time, well, Free Talk Live's for you. Speaking of liberty, at one point, some people were in desperate need of liberty. And I'm talking specifically about people who are owned as slaves in the United States.
We still have slavery today. It's just our energy's been monetized in the form of, USD, for example, in this country. And you don't pay those taxes, men with shiny badges and guns going to come visit you.
Yeah, I think it's pretty accurate that if you have an income tax and a property tax, that they're taxing your labor and they're taxing your land. I mean, you're not free if you're not free to work and keep the money that you earn.
Yeah, it's like if you don't go get a parasite job and engage in this massive pension building, and if your pension still holds up, you're pretty much just impossible for the private sector, the working class, to actually retire because of life taxes. And even when you're done working, you still got to pay thousands of dollars a year in property tax.
And obviously, that some people some people will say that, some slavery is worse than others, and that's certainly true. I would agree. I don't think that any slavery is acceptable. Any person being able to extract labor from somebody else without some kind of contract in place is, that's fair.
Contract and consideration, yeah, because it's not fair at all.
I would say that it's certainly true that black people that were owned in the antebellum South in the 1850s in the United States probably certainly had it significantly worse than anybody who might be experiencing citizenship today. So let's go on here. The move comes amid a renewed national debate over whether the federal government should pay reparations to the descendants of former slaves. This summer, the House of Representatives held a hearing on a bill which would establish a commission to study how a restitution program would work, and several different Democratic presidential candidates have indicated their support for the idea. So, just out of curiosity, if the whole 40 acres and a mule thing, and for those that don't know, that former slaves were promised 40 acres and a mule.
By who? Did you promise it to him, Mark?
It wasn't me. And they didn't get it. So if they were given 40 acres and a mule, would reparations not be relevant at that point? And what would does anybody think that this 40 acres was going to be cleared land, in a lush valley with the deepest and darkest of soils, and this mule was going to be young
and well trained
and healthy.
Do you know what would happen if the 40 acres and a mule? Well, so there's a whole bunch of no man's land, between like New York State and California border. There's a whole lot of nothing.
Where is it? California and New York?
Between New York State and California, all through the United States.
Yeah.
Just fly. There's just nothing.
Yeah.
There's some circles, there's some squares, there's some lines, but pretty much nothing. I mean, so
there's a lot of unarable land that you simply can't grow anything on.
Sure, because there's no water there. I mean, there's a lot of high desert.
Right.
I mean, but with modern day technology and
today you can do it, and they are doing it in Mexico and New Mexico and Arizona,
Colorado,
and Mexico.
Nebraska, all over the place.
But at the time, that land would have been completely useless.
And the other thing that would happen is mules become worth a lot of money, like for a short time. They'd get really expensive, and then everybody
the bodies of mules would become expensive because
Right.
if they dropped a mule off on your desert and it was dead, how are you going to prove it? It's not like there were cell phone cameras.
And then mules would become really, really cheap because 99% of these people who are going to get the mule in 40 acres
gonna sell it.
They don't need a mule, but what they should be getting is an old half-ton pickup truck in 40 acres. So that's equivalent of your mule today.
Agreed. So, polling suggests the majority of Americans opposes monetary reparations, while President Donald Trump and other senior Republicans have publicly criticized the idea. And I have some criticisms for the idea. I think it's a confusing idea for which I cannot make heads or tails of how it would possibly be implemented.
Right. There's no such thing as free money.
And, I mean, do we need to prove that it's everybody who's getting it? What percentage of black Americans, what percentage do you have to be black in order to get it? So if you had a slave, one ancestor that was a slave in the United States, do you get it? What about the people who've left the United States? Do they get reparations too? Because, some ancestor could have certainly left and gone elsewhere.
What about all this bailout money that was going to go bail out all the people who lost their homes in 2008? What was it, $800 and something billion? Something
Absolutely,
crazy?
That would have been far better paid off in reparations. Then we could stop having this conversation.
Not one single guy or family got to keep their foreclosed house. I mean, what's the name and address?
Nobody.
I don't believe there's anybody. I've asked this question several times.
I thought there were people who could prove that the signatures on the documents were bad.
Those are people who fought it.
Okay.
So there are people who fought this that prove that there was fraud they backed off.
It's always the people who fight it that get to win.
But the $800 billion that both Bush and Obama were just all giddy to give out to, the TARP, tarnished ass out payment thing.
Some people's loans were, not the whole thing was forgiven, but basically they were cut and they didn't have to pay as much.
Didn't have to pay as much, but they still paid 3 or 4 times, for the house.
A mortgage is 3 or 4 times, a lot of cases.
They still paid absolutely all this money, but who got the money was all Timothy Geithner's friends, everybody at Goldman
Sachs. Absolutely went to the banks. I mean, that much is abundantly clear. And I think that it would have been far better off paid to,
anyone.
Frankly, anyone.
Every crackhead on the street would have done better than giving it to these bankers.
Everybody whose last name started with A through an M.
Right.
I think that would have been a better way to do it. Or, let's see, I'm in that group, so let's just go ahead and everybody with N through Z.
Sure.
So I don't care. I mean, anything would have been better than what they did.
But this is modern day slavery. They just keep on printing up money out of thin air, and they keep on taxing several generations to repay these things that can never be paid for. To keep on diminishing the value of the current money you have in your pocket or in your bank account. And you literally could not have people like Jeffrey Epstein owning his own private islands and having all kinds of sex parties with little girls and friends like Prince Andrew and buddies like the Clintons. You couldn't have this elitist class of really, really bad people without the protectionism of government and without the straight up enslavement of the people through, the what is it, 160 million people are tax slaves essentially in the United States, and how much they take from each one of them?
That's how many returns are filed, but some of the returns are joint returns, so it's difficult to know how many people in the United States are taxpayers. I want to get this quote in real, because I think this is relevant. Robin Simmons, the alderman who proposed the reparations bill, she said the source of the reparations funding was fitting. Even the federal government's war on drugs campaign disproportionately affected African Americans for several decades.
I agree with that.
I don't know if this article mentions redlining, but redlining was a very real thing in the Chicago area.
What is redlining?
In that time frame. Basically, the black people couldn't buy houses within certain areas, and that area was designated with a red line. And, they were many times the loans that they were given were, they're calling them predatory. I would say that they were not the same sort of loans that white Americans were being offered of a similar sort of credit score and rating. I think most of that stuff's been dealt with in America as far as, you can't live here, you can't live there. And for whatever reason, we still have segregation. Then again, I could be wrong. The number's 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE. But certainly the war on drugs was absolutely disproportionately affected black people. And I think it's interesting that they sort of wrap in this marijuana legalization to a little bit that's going into a reparations fund. But why should it be reparations for slavery when it's the war on drugs?
How about reparations for these people who were put in jail for having the wrong species of salad?
That's what we're talking about.
In their pocket. That would be a real reparation right there. There needs to be reparations.
A lot of whom would probably be black.
For guys like Ross Ulbricht, who's getting double life in prison for running a website. There's so many victimless crime people in prison.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. With the Discord lines, discord.freetalklive.com.
Set your own schedule, work, play, or sleep whenever you want, 7 days a week. Are you free to date whomever you want, even if you're already married? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Come to our free webinar with a live Q&A with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,475, silver at $16.85, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,197. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, things continue to get worse for Prince Andrew, as 5 more women have come forward to accuse him of being present during the abuse that took place on Jeffrey Epstein's properties. The prince has denied all the allegations against him, especially in regard to his main accuser, Virginia Giuffre, who appeared in a photograph with him while she was under the age of 18. It was during that time in which he says that Epstein forced her to have sex with Prince Andrew, in addition to other wealthy and powerful men. According to the Mind Unleashed, Andrew denies ever meeting her, despite the photographic evidence, which he insists must be a fake. Now, in a new BBC documentary, emails between Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell cast further doubt on his denials. The BBC's Panorama aired an interview this week, along with a documentary, detailing some of the other evidence in the case. Among the evidence was an email exchange between Andrew and Maxwell, which the BBC found buried in thousands of pages of legal documents. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. A veteran Los Angeles police officer is facing an investigation after footage from his body-worn camera appeared to show him groping a recently deceased woman's breasts. The officer and his partner, also a man, had responded to a call about a possible dead body in a residential unit, according to a report from the Los Angeles Times. When the officers determined that the woman was dead, one of the officers left the scene to fetch something from his patrol car. At that point, the accused officer turned off his body camera before he allegedly began fondling the dead woman's breasts, according to LAPD officials. A person briefed on the incident, who spoke with the Associated Press, said footage of the incident was only captured because of the continuous 2-minute buffering period that the cameras are equipped with, resulting in the act being recorded during the 2 minutes before the camera was turned back on. Even the Los Angeles Police Protective League appeared eager to distance itself from the alleged ghoulish act. This week, a bald eagle smashed through the window of an H&R tax preparation office in Norfolk, Virginia, and the scene was caught on camera. The eagle bounced around inside the office for a few minutes before eventually flying away, just as animal rescue crews were arriving on the scene. Wildlife rehabilitator Rochelle Stewart says she arrived mere minutes after the bird flew away. According to the Mind Unleashed, Harry Patterson, who works at a nearby insurance office, noticed the animal inside the building and decided to get some footage. It appears the bald eagle broke the window before getting inside the building. According to the Virginia Pilot, the eagle struck the glass sometime Monday morning, leaving a hole nearly 3 feet wide. An H&R Block representative said the glass was replaced and the window fully repaired later that afternoon. The office is closed for the season and won't be open until tax time rolls around. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
After months of struggling to find their footing, it looks like the GOP has finally found an effective spokesman. Since Republican leaders unveiled the reanimated corpse of Ronald Reagan at a fundraising event last week, the undead former president has quickly emerged as the new face of the Republican Party. Since Reagan was brought back from the grave by GOP leaders in a top-secret $2.2 million reanimation project, poll data shows Reagan with a higher favorability rating than all other high-profile Republicans combined.
The voters know Reagan, they trust Reagan, Republican. When he moans at them, they're going to listen.
And there's questions as to whether he still has capacity for thought, and he does eat people. But big picture, he's the best option they have right now.
And appeared in a series of GOP ads promoting the Republican Party's traditional values.
Congress and the president say they're trying to help fix our country's economy. Ronald Reagan and the Republican Party have the right idea for America's future.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Kicking off the second hour, it's Mark with you.
And Jay.
The number, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. If you want to participate in this open forum here on the radio. I mean, that's the whole purpose of Free Talk Live, is to open up the airwaves and hear people's opinions on whatever topic it is that they want to bring up. Now, obviously, we're going to ask questions, and sometimes we won't agree. But it's available to you.
Do any of the listeners have any speculation on what the media is distracting the masses from with this impeachment? I'd love to hear some thoughts or some conspiracy theories or some ideas.
I don't know, but I know that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that too.
And
he's got a lot of friends that
if he didn't kill himself, then somebody killed him, or he isn't, or he faked his death. One of the two. In which case, who killed him and who helped him escape his punishment?
And, the smoking gun here, the World Trade number 7 is Ghislaine Maxwell. How come she's not being, how come there's not a warrant out for her arrest? How come Interpol's not looking for her?
They want her testimony. She's not nearly as interesting because she's not a billionaire.
Yeah, well, they don't want her testimony. You think they want it? Who's they?
I don't know who wants what. I think Giselle better watch out or she might wake up dead. Let's go to the phones. We got Gene, the Christian anarchist, calling in. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live. Oh, of course. I tried to take a call here on the Discord lines, and
I do have a theory why the Democrats are so hardcore on this impeachment thing. They really, really want to make sure Trump wins, because I think a lot of them are pretty sure that the economy is going to take a total dump. The U.S. dollar might go bust with the BRICS nations are doing their own trades and their own currency. BRICS being
what are BRICS?
BRICS nations would be Brazil, Russia, India, China, and
the sort of up-and-coming economies, or the economies that aren't quite as large as the United States, but big enough that they can tell people to go F themselves if they feel like it?
Combined, they're all bigger than... any two of them are bigger than the United States, I believe. Not any two of them, but definitely like Russia and China, combined, or China and any of them.
Okay.
But they got to go through this SWIFT system. And Iran's in on this, too. They want to buy oil from Iran. They want to buy natural gas from Iran. They want to... And Iran has it and wants to sell it to them.
Wants to sell it, yeah.
And Iran should be able to. And they want to use cryptocurrency because they can go around sanctions, just like Brad Sherman said Bitcoin can do. It can negate the U.S. sanctions, which is a beautiful thing. And these countries are going to do it. And I don't really think there's much the United States can do about it. The United States can't go to war with China or Russia. I mean, they can try, but it's going to be stupid. I mean, and also, this whole BRICS, trade summit is almost like the prequel to Red Dawn. You remember that movie?
Wolverines,
where the Russians and the Koreans, invaded the Western United States together. But
I thought it was the first the Russians and then the North Koreans. Like there were two versions of it.
Oh, I could have that screwed up. I honestly don't know. I mean, I've watched both movies, and this is the reason you need to go attend your local gun church, a couple times a year and practice shooting your guns and learn about new guns and things like that, because just in case Red Dawn's happening, it's better to be prepared than to not be prepared. And shooting guns with your friends is fun.
I think that the problem with taking that call was completely my fault. So let's go back to the phones. We've got Gene, the Christian anarchist, here on the Discord lines. Listen to how great it sounds. Gene, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
What's on your mind?
I was up flying around in my airplane today, and I saw all those guys up
go
there.
rub it in.
Yeah, they were all up there spraying the heck out of us with those chemtrails. They were just all over the place, one after the other.
What are these, crop dusters?
And I was about dying there. I couldn't hardly breathe. That was choking so bad.
So I'm confused.
Did you get video?
What were they spraying? Did you get some video? What are we talking about here?
No, I didn't get any video because I'm just making fun of the chemtrail people because there are no chemtrails. They're contrails. They're
clouds.
They're basically water vapor that condenses due to combustion of the jet engines in the airliners under certain conditions and at certain altitudes. So
sometimes you can see them crisscross in the sky, though. I mean, it's amazing to see, especially in a place where there's a lot of planes going by.
And it's all easily explained because the reason you see those crisscross patterns is because airplanes travel along something called Victor Airways. So in other words, one airline follows another airline, follows another airline. So if a plane goes by, say, every 10 minutes on the same track, and then as they go by, they leave their contrail, and then the wind, which is at altitude, will blow that contrail over so many, like a mile or whatever. And then another plane will come by and put a fresh contrail across that same track. And then that one will slowly get blown over to the side. Another plane will come by. You see how this works. And then there'll be another contrail that'll be 90 degrees or 60 degrees adjacent, out of parallel to that one. So that one will crisscross. And then another plane will come by and the wind will blow that one over. This is how it happens. And I've explained to people many, many times that if they want to know what airplane that is, if they're looking up at the sky and they're seeing a plane and it's laying a contrail, then all they have to do is put an app on their phone. The one I use is called Flight Radar 24. Flight Radar 24. There's a couple of different apps that you can put on your phone.
And all the planes are tracked. I mean, I've seen this on online. Yeah.
Yep. But you can figure out exactly which airplane that is if you have that app, because you can look up and look at your phone and you can say, oh, well, that's United Airlines Flight 2324 flying from San Francisco to New York. And it'll say that right there. So it's an airliner. It's not a spraying plane.
Now, I got a question for you,
ahead.
Gene. What about so John O'Brien, the director of the CIA, there's a video, and I got it up here. I haven't watched it in a little while, but he talks about weather modification and aerosol spraying and how you can, you can make it, good weather here and you can make it bad weather here. And he kind of, in this video, he talks about how you can make the weather really bad in some places purposely. And he has this evil chuckle kind of that he has to try to contain in this. And during the break, I'm going to play this video.
So there is some truth to these things. This is how, there's always a certain amount of truth and also a certain amount of deceit going on in almost everything you hear. Now, there is truth to the fact that experiments have been made spraying stuff in the atmosphere to change the weather. Also, things have been sprayed into the atmosphere to try and experiment with over-the-horizon radar. These are things that are documented. They have happened, but they're not currently being experimented with. The weather modification thing turned out to be a big dud. Basically, it's what's called cloud seeding, and it was kind of hit or miss, and sometimes it would work, sometimes it didn't work. So it's really not worth the effort to try and make it work.
They have to be efficient about anything. I mean, these are the guys that spend $50,000 on a hammer. I mean,
well, you're right there. All they do is waste money. But the thing is, if you had the amount of airplanes that it took to put all those trails in the sky, you would have to have tens of thousands of airplanes with twice that many pilots flying them. Where are all these pilots? How come you're not getting pilots that are, if they've got 50,000 pilots in the air doing all this crazy spraying stuff, how come not one of them have come forward and said, here, yeah, we were doing it, and here's some video. I got video of the airplane and all the stuff in it and blah, blah, blah. Yes, there have been some pictures of experimental airplanes with tanks and stuff.
Yeah, that's basically for weight distribution to mimic passengers. Thanks for the calls, Gene. Free Talk Live.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful. Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Free Talk Live.
So, yeah, Mark, they did ban all foreign flags from being flown in the event that they are the only flag being flown. But nonetheless, I mean,
it's the flying of a flag?
$50 fine and 30 hours of community service.
That's dumb. This doesn't really even affect.
What do you think? This is the land of the free?
Most of the Mexican flags I see are CDs hanging from people's rearview mirrors, stickers.
I think we could qualify that.
That's not a flag.
It doesn't look like a flag. Got them colors on it.
No.
We're going to charge you $50 fine. $50. That's right.
That CD, what if the CD has music on it?
Don't matter. It's a flag.
It's not a flag. It's a CD.
If you're flying it
Clearly,
like a flag,
sir,
it's a flag, my friend.
It's not a flag. It's hanging from fishing wire from my rearview mirror.
Hanging equals flag.
No, hanging does not equal flag.
Equals $50 fine. Pay up.
Well, I have
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450, free as in freedom. You can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind, as Gene, the Christian anarchist, just did. He wanted to talk about chemtrails. Robin Georgia's on the line. We'll get right to him here in just one moment. I want to tell you about Bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com is, in my opinion, the premier website for anybody who's interested in cryptocurrency. This is where you got to go before you go anyplace else. You can get a wallet there. You can buy cryptocurrency there, Bitcoin Cash specifically, and they've made it possible. They put together local.bitcoin.com, which makes it possible to buy Bitcoin Cash with no ID requirements to sign up for and to use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. They're responsible for creating a global trading platform that respects your privacy. And nobody in the cryptocurrency is trying any of this. Cryptocurrency was about privacy and it was about empowerment, and it's all gone the other way. Check them out at bitcoin.com. You can go to, do your trading there at local.bitcoin.com.
This is the reason Bitcoin.com or Bitcoin Cash is one of my favorite cryptos, is because the people really behind Bitcoin Cash they're actual people who love liberty. They want to not empower the government. They're about not feeding this parasite, not complying with it, and that's why one of the main reasons I really like them. They're like Satoshi Nakamoto's original vision. They're really sticking with it at Bitcoin Cash.
Let's go to Rob in Georgia. Rob, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind, sir?
Evening, gentlemen.
I'm sorry. Did I gender you? Excuse me.
Oh, I think it was a safe guess.
All right.
Well, I just wanted to give a take on the whole Jeffrey Epstein.
Talk right into your phone, if you would, please, Rob.
Oh, sure. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I wanted to give my take on the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing that you brought up a few minutes ago.
Yep, go right ahead.
In the years immediately following 9/11, as the internet became more prevalent as a public square and a public forum, you saw the sort of memification of the 9/11 topic. Internet memes like Bush did 9/11 and jet fuel can't melt steel beams. You've seen these on the internet, I'm sure.
Yep.
It was turned into a joke, and you're starting to see sort of the same thing with the Jeffrey Epstein thing. The Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself meme has become so prevalent, and it's almost like it's being allowed to proliferate, and it's being allowed to grow, so that we view it more as a joke. And the more we're posting these internet memes and we're laughing at the topic, subject matter, we're not rioting, because this is the crime of the century. Jeffrey Epstein is the case of the century when it comes to these ultra-powerful people and blackmail material and intelligence operations.
Well, the American people are very, very pacified, whether it's through entertainment, through chemicals, through fluoride in the water. I got a friend, Bob Anderson. He always says he always asks people who were like of the libertarian mindset if they grew up on fluoridated water, and
I didn't. I mean, almost never was I in any place that I drank fluoridated water.
And pretty much everyone he talks to, really wasn't on fluoridated water is most of the answer of the people who are like these open-minded thinkers. And then there's people who, they get out of the cities and they start using a Berkey if they're still in a city and taking a fluoride out.
Keene, New Hampshire, where we live, is a liberal bastion, and there's very few libertarians here, and we don't have chlorine in the water here.
Fluoride in the water, yeah.
I'm sorry, fluoride in the water here. So I don't know whether that stands up. I'd be interested in finding out more. But
pacified in many ways. The American people, they really just don't care. They're all about their sports ball warship and their this team versus that team nonsense.
Rob?
You're right. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking my call.
So the memification aspect of this, I want to get a little bit more. So you feel like somehow talking about it in a jocular fashion takes the gravity out of it, and therefore we're not going to see any movement in the same way that nothing happened with the shooting of Harambe, right? I mean, no protocols at zoos were changed over the amazing amount of posts that have referenced this shot gorilla, this dead gorilla. This is sort of the same situation with Epstein.
Absolutely right. When you have this horrifying subject matter, this topic that is too heavy for most people to even process, And maybe I'm looking too far into this. Maybe this is just humanity's way of coping with horrific subject matter.
Or things that they really have no power over, because honestly, if some dark cabal of pedophiles had Jeffrey Epstein murdered in jail, there's honestly nothing that you or I, the average truck driver or dishwasher or plumber, is going to do about any of this stuff, honestly. I mean, we could talk about it, but...
And you're hearing reports on how CPS, Child Protective Services in the United States, is responsible for 60% of the human trafficking in the world. A crazy, 600 and something thousand children just disappear in the United States.
I haven't heard anything like that.
That is an insane number. I mean, I read an article about this the other day. I should have put it as show prep, but it's it just, I mean, and you start reading these things, these articles, and they piss me off. They actually make me sick. I don't even want to read them, and and they're complaining about CO2, which is like this, almost nothing, percent, in the atmosphere, and they're, and this all this other nonsense. I mean, the media is just it's mushroom management. The way you grow a mushroom is you feed it crap and you keep it in the dark.
Rob?
Yeah, very good, guys.
Thanks for the call.
So much for taking my call. Take care.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. And this topic is a little odd and off the wall, but I think the libertarians in the bunch will appreciate it. So, Jay, have you ever run across anybody who said that if you want no government, why don't you move to Somalia?
Oh, several times.
So this has happened to you more than once, because I can tell you it's certainly happened to me. And there's a really great video out there that's very entertaining of a couple of libertarians that go to Somalia, and she's like, "I have cholera," or something, and at the end of it, it's clever. There's no doubt about it. But Tom Woods decided this. For those that don't know, Tom Woods is one of the better thinkers, one of the more exciting thinkers in the libertarian realm right now. He's got his own podcast, and I love him. And
he's been making a lot of appearances on Boom Bust and RT, and I love Tom Woods. He does. I hope he sticks with this RT gig he's been doing. He's on Boom Bust, and I forget what the other one is, Crosstalk or something. But he does such a great job. Him and this Asian girl, Christy I, they're a really good team on Boom Bust. I appreciate him a lot.
Yeah, and Tom Woods has been here on Free Talk Live, I think multiple times, but certainly at least once. He came for Thanksgiving one time here at the Free Talk Live studios.
That's cool.
He was in town, and he's like, "Well, in Boston, and I'll make the 2-hour drive out to see you guys." And so
Tom Woods really needs to come to Fork Fest, because Fork Fest, the original Fork Fest, was literally called Somalia Fest.
It's true. One point that was true. The number, 855-450-3733. And it was to lampoon that very situation. Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733.
Do you like going to your job every day? Can you set your own schedule and take long vacations whenever you want? Are you free to do whatever you want in your dating or sex life? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Come to our free webinar with a live Q&A with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com, and it's a place you can send any business, and they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi,
My name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
And Jay.
So we have this story. This was an email that was sent around to people on Tom Woods' list, but I just thought it was so good that I wanted to read it. Before we go on, I want to talk to you about Alpha Male 2.0. Have you heard of Caleb Jones? He's the creator of Alpha Male 2.0, and he will be hosting a free live webinar complete with Q&A on December the 10th at 8 p.m. That's a Free Talk Live hosted webinar. You can register at alpha.freetalklive.com. alpha.freetalklive.com. Caleb's taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create location-independent income and to date women under their terms. What good is living in a free society if you don't live a free life? Have you ever wanted to work when you wanted to work instead of having to report to an office? Have you ever felt trapped in a relationship with rules like monogamy? I never really considered it, but well, there you go. To some, what Caleb teaches is controversial. However, he is not creating sound bites for shock value. He believes deeply in Alpha Male 2.0 and their way of life, and he wants to help you be more than just a beta male or even more than an alpha male. He wants to help you become an Alpha Male 2.0. Attend our live Free Talk Live webinar Tuesday, December the 10th at 8 p.m. Register now at alpha.freetalklive.com. The advantage of going there now is you get you get signed up and get the emails, that sort of thing. alpha.freetalklive.com. And that's where we're going to have the event, and that's where you sign up. alpha.freetalklive.com.
I just don't understand where guys get the time to have more than one girlfriend or wife and sister wives or whatever they want to call it. It's like, I ain't got enough time to hang out with my wife, never mind, throwing anyone else into the mix.
Take the course. Maybe they just flock to you like gnats. I have no idea. Going on here with the article from Tom Woods. To this day, I find myself replying on Twitter to people who genuinely think that it's a devastating argument that to send libertarians to Somalia. If you want to live in your libertarian paradise, you should move to Somalia. Whenever I see this, I know I'm not dealing with the sharpest knife in the drawer. Probably because Somalia isn't stateless, but whatever. I recently saw someone on Twitter post a photo of a page in a textbook that he was forced to use in college, and it brought up the Somalia example. If you're a libertarian or an anarchist who believes states are a threat to freedom, you should consider moving to Somalia. That's the first sentence on the page. Subtle.
Yeah, is that what the colonists should have done when they, instead of revolting,
Right. It's a great argument. Is that why didn't George Washington just leave if he didn't like the King of England?
And the problem is there is a global government that wants to rule and enslave and collect taxes. I mean, this carbon nonsense. I mean, who thinks that by giving some global organization money for pounds of carbon that you may or may not produce is going to fix anything?
And for the people that have a problem with well, it's local rule, so it's okay. Honolulu is farther from Washington D.C. than London was from Boston. It's a good distance farther. And I suspect Anchorage is farther from Washington, D.C. I suspect, let's see, the capital, Guam, American Samoa, the Micronesian states, whatever they might be.
Anyone who says to go live in Somalia just doesn't have a good argument.
They don't want to have a conversation about what's wrong.
Because they know they're going to get destroyed.
Now, I will say this. If your paradise exists, so if there was a libertarian place on the planet that was sufficiently more libertarian in the ways that I'm interested in than New Hampshire, I would move there.
So would I.
Right? So I am willing to do it should this place exist. Now, I'm a voluntarist, so I believe that all interactions should be voluntary, which means that I don't believe in any organization that uses force to deal with uninitiated force to deal with a problem. So I believe taxation's theft. And that pretty much precludes every spot on the planet, number one. Now, personally, I don't need hookers, legal weed, casinos, cigarettes, gay marriage, most of the things out there that are social.
We don't need
freedoms.
state-sanctioned marriage whatsoever. Why are people wanting the state to be a partner in their marriage? I mean,
well, I agree with you. I got married because my wife at the time, she worked for the state of Florida, and if we got married, I could get an operation on my septum that I needed. So I was like, all right. So it's going to cost us $100 to get this marriage certificate, and then I get this operation. I guess I'm in. And so I just, took the 30 pieces of silver, as they say, and so far it's worked out just fine. Obviously, the government will get their money on the way out.
I think there was a little more reason for you guys to get married than just to get the cheap health care.
How's that?
Well, because that's not the only reason you married her.
I mean,
that's
the government married.
You got the government permission slip.
Right. I mean, we could have just had a service at the church and everything would have been fine. I've performed a few services, yours included, where it was stateless. But in my case, I got a marriage certificate, a license from the government, and the reason is she worked for the government. So, but for me, my main concern is sort of two. One, taxation is too high in many districts, and oftentimes I feel that way about New Hampshire. As a matter of fact, I think taxation was lower in Florida, where I lived previously. Number two, I really have a problem with government schools because essentially they're useless government indoctrination centers that are for lower and middle class kids. The upper class people and the teachers, they don't send their kids to these schools, but they get the rest of us to send our kids there. And I think that they're just largely useless, and they're a net negative.
Absolutely. I really like your take on your libertarians idea, where you a couple of years ago you explain out real nice the school system and how we could transfer by basically giving ownership of the schools.
I have to give Ian credit on that one. He came up with this, or at least read it someplace.
Well, you explain it very well.
Thank you. The notion is, and I think that this is true for pretty much every government program that's useful, that has some use to it. So no one's going to say that school's a bad idea and you shouldn't send your kids to school. But I would say that a state-run school has in it some inherent problems, and all I have to do is use statistics to prove it. But what if we just went ahead and gave those schools to the teachers, the janitors, and the administrators that currently work at it, and then they get a whole business wrapped up with a bow delivered to them, and then they can run it?
The hard part's done. The infrastructure's there. The $6 million building's there. Yep. All the stuff is there. They got all supply.
Give them 2 years warning. Let them know that it's going to happen, and that way they can begin doing things like fundraising and doing tuition costs and figuring it all out. And also give them the power to deny somebody an education. Because one of the biggest problems that we have in this country is that teachers are dealing with students that they can't get rid of.
Right, and who have parents that don't care. And one of the things I've been bringing up to, I talked to a teacher the other day, and I says, do you and your partners at work, your coworkers, feel like your hands are tied by higher authority? She goes, oh yeah. She says, if it's not a violation of some state regulation, it's a violation of some federal regulation. And she's like, and there's this red tape and it's, this, that. I go,
it makes working conditions deplorable.
I go, wouldn't it be better if you and all your coworkers could held shares in that particular school, and you guys ran and controlled it, and you set your own policies? And then wouldn't it be great if there was a competing school a few miles down the road where they did that, and maybe one school was based a little more on classical type things, and another school was based maybe on agriculture or whatever, and people could choose where they spend their money? And she kind of liked that idea.
Yeah, but once you say privatize, it's all over. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Forget it.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. Mark with you.
And Jay.
So, talking about this this article written by Tom Woods about people suggesting that libertarians move to Somalia. And I want to go on with that here shortly, but first I want to talk to you about liberty.menu. So, if you've ever been suggested that you need to move to Somalia, then perhaps you are a libertarian and one that's interested in doing business with other libertarians, people who are like-minded. Well, check out liberty.menu. It's a tool for our community. At its core, it's a directory for events and businesses and digital content. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's even a social networking aspect to it where you can connect and share with others. The use of liberty.menu, however, is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. The non-aggression principle means that you reject the initiation of force. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at liberty.menu and use code FTL. You get a special badge. It's free already, so all we can give you is a special badge, but we've sponsored it because we believe in this. People have been asking us for this for years. Liberty.menu. So going on with Tom Woods here, apparently a textbook actually suggests that if you're a libertarian or an anarchist that you should move to Somalia. The offending book, if you're curious, is The Good Society, An Introduction to Comparative Politics. This is a textbook. It's by Alan Draper and Ansel Ramsey.
So this is something that's given to further brainwash kids in public day prison?
Sure. And, I mean, you know, these people are full of nonsense when it comes to arguing against libertarianism because there's really nothing but nonsense out there. One of them is the argument from ignorance. Well, if libertarianism is such a good idea, why hasn't anyone tried it? Why haven't we tried this? Well, the answer is it's been tried. As a matter of fact, private communities exist all over the world. Special economic zones are private cutouts, basically. Resorts are where people go to live under different rules and live together communally. Cruise ships are their own floating cities with their own rules. No one's talking about people running around with hunting knives in their teeth, eviscerating each other over, the most petty of disagreements.
Yeah, that only happens where people can't own guns, like in England.
Right. That happens where there is government. So here we go. Here we have an academic textbook literally urging libertarians to move to Somalia if they hate states so much. In other words, it's written at the level of, you like carrots? Well, why don't you marry one? From third grade. Without a state, we read, Somalia under statelessness descended into a Hobbesian state of nature where life is nasty, brutish, and short.
Speaking of Somalia, hasn't the U.S. military and CIA been destabilizing the crap out of Somalia forever?
Decades, yeah, and other Western states too. The UN. After 2 whole paragraphs on the situation in Somalia, we get study questions. If you look really, really closely, you may detect a very slight bias in these questions. Which is preferable, bad government or no government?
I would say no government.
Why hasn't? Well, yeah, I don't know. Ask the people in Stalin's gulag.
What is preferable? A really bad cancer or no cancer?
Why hasn't Somalia, without a state, become the paradise that libertarians anticipate? I don't know that they've addressed that, but it's
you can't be sending SEAL Team 6 in there to do special operations, every couple years and shooting people and then support one warlord in there and support another warlord. I mean, I wonder what the economic hitman knows about Somalia. I mean, he probably has some input.
Now, for one thing, was there ever a libertarian who predicted a stateless Somalia or a stateless anywhere else, that it would be a paradise? So libertarians don't propose that. Libertarians only say that the state is inefficient. But more importantly, if we're going to get a picture of what's that's worth anything of a life in Somalia without a state, the correct comparison to make is not between Somalia and the United States, the comparison most writers like this are implicitly making, but between Somalia and comparable African countries. And on that front, Somalia, during its stateless period, comes out pretty darn well. In most metrics of living standards, it held steady or improved. So Somalia, stateless, didn't actually descend into some Hobbesian state where life was brutish, short, or any of these other things that was predicted. What's the other one? Nasty, brutish, and short. In fact, it held pretty comparable to itself during the stateless time frame, which is to say, the government wasn't really doing anything to make life better.
Is there a listener listening that would turn into an absolute murdering, raging psychopath if the government disappeared tomorrow?
Right. I mean,
please call in.
Right. First off, if you decided to go on a murdering rampage, this is what some people predict. Somebody goes on a murdering rampage. I don't know about you, but America's got 600 million guns. Do you really want to go on a murdering rampage?
And
there's 2 guns for every American?
I might know 1 or 2 bad actors. And one of the bad actors I'm thinking of, I don't personally know him. He's just an a-hole that, is a troll. But the people that I've surrounded myself with and I know they're all real decent, good people. Most of them are people I trust with guns. And they're just, the number of good people so much outweighs the number of bad people. And I really, really believe that.
So it says in most metrics of living standards, Somalia held steady or improved. In the Journal of Economic Behavior and Organization, 2008, Professor Benjamin Powell and his colleagues wrote, this paper's main contribution to the literature has been to compare Somalia's living standards to those of 41 other sub-Saharan African countries, both before and after the collapse of the national government. That sounds like the way to do it. Compare Somalia before the collapse of the national government and after the collapse of the national government, and compare it to its contemporaries right there in Africa. We find that Somalia's living standards have generally improved and that they compare relatively. This is a quote from the paper from the Journal of Economic Behavior and Organization in 2008. We find that Somalia's living standards have generally improved and that they compare relatively favorably to many existing African states. Importantly, we find that Somali living standards have often improved, not just in absolute terms, but also in relative to other African countries since the collapse of the Somali central government. All right, so Somalia not only is holding fine against its own comparison against itself, but it's also beating out some African states in some metrics. So when somebody says move to Somalia, you mean to a place that's gotten better without its central government?
And I mean, Mark, do you and I really even know anything about Somalia the same way? I mean, do we know anything about North Korea? Do we know anything about...
I saw Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, right. Is it, just a Hollywood depiction?
I saw that boat, the movie where the Somali guy takes over the boat.
Yep.
I am the captain now, or something like that.
Right.
Look at me.
And, merchant marines, merchant vessels and like fishing vessels are not supposed to have firearms. That's how you solve that problem. If all these merchant vessels were just heavily armed, and there ain't no pirates coming in there and doing nothing, especially in, some little skiff. And I think I made an incorrect statement earlier. This article was done by Tom Woods, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just wrote down Ben Swan here. It is Ben Swan who's on RT, not Tom Woods.
Okay.
Both of those guys are great guys.
Oh, sure.
And I just got them a little confused, so hopefully nobody's offended.
I'm sure they both appreciate it, honestly. Economist Peter Leeson in Anarchy Unbound, Cambridge University Press, reports similar findings. Yes, Somalia ranked low in some categories during the stateless period, but that's where it ranked before the statelessness, too. And if anything, it actually made progress in those categories. Life expectancy was up, for instance, and infant mortality was down.
And what's the infrastructure in Somalia? Aren't they 10 decades behind the United States? I mean, how many houses have, running water and, electricity that works every day?
I have no idea, but I think that the comparisons that are made here are much fairer than anything I've ever heard. To me, it was always just like, well, Somalia is not stateless. It has warlords, which is effectively all that any government is, honestly.
Years ago, the Somalis rejected GMO corn from the United States. They didn't want to feed it to their cows, so it made their cows sick.
Yeah. So pretty obviously, these authors had no interest in reporting fact. They didn't look at any of these papers. They just spew their talking points. What do you think? 855-450-3733.
Definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Ever wanted to hook up with an attractive woman, but you couldn't because you were already in a relationship? Ever wanted to earn high income on low work hours? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low work, high income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Come to our free webinar with a live Q&A with me so you can learn how to create location independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,475, silver at $16.85, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,197. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Takeoff with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, things continue to get worse for Prince Andrew, as 5 more women have come forward to accuse him of being present during the abuse that took place on Jeffrey Epstein's properties. The prince has denied all the allegations against him, especially in regard to his main accuser, Virginia Giuffre, who appeared in a photograph with him while she was under the age of 18. It was during that time in which she says that Epstein forced her to have sex with Prince Andrew, in addition to other wealthy and powerful men. According to the Mind Unleashed, Andrew denies ever meeting her, despite the photographic evidence, which he insists must be a fake. Now, in a new BBC documentary, emails between Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell cast further doubt on his denials. The BBC's Panorama aired an interview this week, along with a documentary, detailing some of the other evidence in the case. Among the evidence was an email exchange between Andrew and Maxwell, which the BBC found buried in thousands of pages of legal documents. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. A veteran Los Angeles police officer is facing an investigation after footage from his body-worn camera appeared to show him groping a recently deceased woman's breasts. The officer and his partner, also a man, had responded to a call about a possible dead body in a residential unit, according to a report from the Los Angeles Times. When the officers determined that the woman was dead, one of the officers left the scene to fetch something from his patrol car. At that point, the accused officer turned off his body camera before he allegedly began fondling the dead woman's breasts, according to LAPD officials. A person briefed on the incident, who spoke with the Associated Press, said footage of the incident was only captured because of the continuous 2-minute buffering period that the cameras are equipped with, resulting in the act being recorded during the 2 minutes before the camera was turned back on. Even the Los Angeles Police Protective League appeared eager to distance itself from the alleged ghoulish act. This week, a bald eagle smashed through the window of an H&R tax preparation office in Norfolk, Virginia, and the scene was caught on camera. The eagle bounced around inside the office for a few minutes before eventually flying away, just as animal rescue crews were arriving on the scene. Wildlife rehabilitator Rochelle Stewart says she arrived mere minutes after the bird flew away. According to the Mind Unleashed, Harry Patterson, who works at a nearby insurance office, noticed the animal inside the building and decided to get some footage. It appears the bald eagle broke the window before getting inside the building. According to the Virginia Pilot, the eagle struck the glass sometime Monday morning, leaving a hole nearly 3 feet wide. An H&R Block representative said the glass was replaced and the window fully repaired later that afternoon. The office is closed for the season and won't be open until tax time rolls around. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The members of Twisted Sister announced they are now willing to take it. A local man is seated next to Lou Reed on a roller coaster, and in retrospect, a band teacher was probably gay. And now a digitally remastered recap of the summer's music news. Baby Baby Love Ya Girl is now the nation's #1 song, despite no one claiming credit for singing, writing, or producing it. Here now is a short excerpt of the track.
Baby, baby, love you, girl. Baby, baby, love you, girl.
Members of the music industry call the hit single the most creatively brain-dead wasteland in modern recording history. And they say they would gladly lose millions in royalties rather than face the shame of having been involved in it. After a slap-based filibuster from rubber band Minority Leader Bootsy Collins, the National Funk Congress remains deadlocked over the controversial Get Up, Get Down issue. Proponents of the measure favor getting on up and staying on the scene like a sex machine, while detractors are vehement in their belief that Americans need to get down with their bad selves.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. And you can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Jay.
Jay, I got a couple of pieces of show prep here. I want you to pick between them. Maryland's red flag laws turn deadly. Officer kills man who refused to turn in gun. Or U.S. students continue to lag behind peers in East Asia and Europe in reading, math, and science exams show.
Well, I think the red flag law would be way more emotional and controversial, but this is some pretty good statistics. Probably, I want to hear about how the Department of Education is dumbing down the people.
Well, it's fascinating that obviously, no American wants to see the kids not perform at the levels of their peers around the world, and you wonder how it can keep on happening year after year after year with all the money. This is one of the richest nations in the world. It depends on how you look at it, but the richest nation in the world.
If you compare a debt to asset ratio, it might be the poorest nation in the world.
Agreed. Teenagers in the United States continue to lag behind their peers in East Asia and Europe in reading, math, and science, according to the results of an international exam that suggests U.S. schools are not doing enough to prepare young people for the competitive global economy.
Well, that's not the purpose of U.S. schools. The purpose of U.S.
Is it the purpose of European schools and East Asian schools?
I don't know. I didn't go to European or East Asian schools. I don't talk to people. I got a little sister who's 19, second year of college. I got lots of friends. I'm 40 years old. My experience, what my sister's dealt with and has done, and she did well. And they went to college, and my little sister's, decided to take on aviation, which I think is really awesome because she wants to actually have a career and a job that might pay her and might reward her, and she likes planes, and she's been flying planes, and she's capable now. But when I was in school, and most people, school was just there to push you into a college. They weren't. The high school was not, preparing you to go do anything except for go to college. Now I have friends. I grew up in a town where we had a trade school in the town, and half the 8th grade class literally went to this Pathfinder Vocational Regional School. Almost all my buddies that went to Pathfinder, that took up all kinds of electrical, HVAC. One of my good friends, electrical. He's installing solar panels and getting paid really good job. I got other friends that after Voc school, they went to lineman school for a 6-month course for like $5,000, and they're working for National Grid, making like $100 an hour during a snowstorm, restoring power, and they got great benefits. And I got friends that are auto mechanics and that are
there's no doubt that
carpenters.
A vocational school will give somebody a skill that they can turn into real dollars, and in many cases, college degrees will not. That much
and they don't
true.
have college debt. These guys, they got houses.
But
you
this is talking about on a global level, and obviously there's going to be competition at some point or another, right? So if the United States is the richest economy in the world and the largest economy in the world, at some point that's not going to be true anymore, right? Because it can't stay the same all the time. There's almost no scenario in which the United States continues to be the world's leader as far as largest economies. I suppose they could just swallow up the whole globe and say, well, you're all states and you're all united now.
Since 1971, the United States has been creating their own money. And they've been putting sanctions on nations that don't want to use their dollar, and they've been bombing nations back literally to the Stone Age that don't want to participate in their dollar system. So the United States, just because they have the military might and are ran by the most elegant psychopaths in the world that go and just blow up and maim and kill innocent people all around the world because they don't want to participate in the U.S. dollar, is the only reason the United States is the so-called richest. I mean, when I say rich, I don't look at it at wealth in dollars and numbers. I think your wealth is in your health and your skill set.
Sure. So
it don't matter how much money you got in that bank account. If you're dying of cancer, if you got like some kind of terminal illness, or if two of your kids, or even one of your kids are autistic and your other kid's hooked on heroin, I mean, do you really have wealth?
Yeah, I heard these words from a friend of mine. He's still alive. He was an old man at the time. He's an old man now, obviously. And he said, Marky, which, very few people call me, but he did. Marky, I'm the richest man I know. Look at my house. I own it outright. I've got my beautiful wife upstairs and my 3 great daughters, and he made a compelling case.
I feel the same way.
Being the richest guy that he knew.
I feel like I am the wealthiest man I know. I mean, I really do.
He's right. His family was relatively without problems, and it's probably because he provided a stable home life, and through loving his wife and working hard and doing all the things that he did. And that those girls grew up to be pretty good girls. I mean, everybody's got problems, but, nobody there's strung out on heroin. How's that? And
that's a good place to be.
It's a really good place to be. And he's right. I mean, at the way he was living, he could live and do the things he wanted to do for the rest of his life. He didn't have to work another day to do it. He continued to because he liked to help people.
I can't say I'm in that position, but...
Yeah. Well, he liked to help people. Frankly, you do the same sort of thing. I mean, he's a machinist, but the kind of working machinist that gets himself dirty. And, a lot of guys just run CAD machines. I'm not besmirching that either. Thank God for the guys who are running the CAD machines. But you also need somebody who'll get in there with an auger and bore out a bearing so that they can weld it back in and, make the things run. Because you need all kinds of machinists.
And it's a reamer, not an auger you bore out a bearing with.
Well, you don't want me doing it. That much is for sure.
Actually, you'd bore out a bushing, not a bearing. But go on.
But I mean, I think that a lot of us were sort of tricked when it came to college, and especially the millennials when the price went up so high, and it's still ridiculous.
I got friends that are the same age as me, graduated high school. I graduated in 98. I'm 40 years old. They are living in apartments. They have college debts that they've just can't even think about paying them. It's not even a concern. They are working, a couple jobs. Some of these guys that went to college did some good stuff. I got one friend, she's a pediatrician that I went to high school with, and she's doing well, but she spends about $800 a month on a college payment. In fact, so it was, is basically what a house mortgage should be, as far as I'm concerned, today, if you're going to live, frugally,
I want to go on with this article here. The results of the program for International Student Assessment, widely known as program PISA. Yeah, we'll call it PISA. It might be PISA, and if so, I'm terribly sorry to the people who worked so hard on this exam. Were released Tuesday and show widening disparities between high and low performing students in the United States. So the disparities getting wider, adding to a growing body of evidence showing worsening inequity in public schools. The exam, first administered in 2000 to measure the performance of 15-year-olds in the 35 industrialized countries of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, and has been administered every 3 years since. It's expanded beyond the 35 member countries. In 2018, 600,000 students from 79 countries took the exam. For about as long, the exam has faced a chorus of skeptics who caution reading too deeply into the results. Of course, the people who are doing poorly don't like the exam. Students are not penalized for performing poorly and never see their results, and students in the United States tend to be less motivated to perform well on it compared to teens in other countries, according to recent studies. So, okay, I mean, how exactly do we want the kids to be assessed against their peers in other countries?
Another thing the U.S. kids are trained for is to pass these exams that are farmed out to these private pet corporations that get paid $3,000 to $6,000 to do some kind of, I don't know, SAT or some kind of MCAS or some kind of BS test, when you're a freshman or whatever.
What do you think about U.S. schools? 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Have you ever wanted to work when you wanted to work instead of having to report to an office? Have you ever felt trapped by relationship rules like monogamy? I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Come to our free webinar with a live Q&A with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. We get to your calls here. The number, I'll give it to you in case you want to call in, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. I want to talk to you about betterplans.net. Look, the Obamacare enrollment deadline is December the 15th. So it's coming up very soon, just, less than 2 weeks from now. And the folks at betterplans.net know that you're thinking about insurance right now because now's the time that basically everybody in America is thinking about it. Well, there are less costly options. Real insurance that'll cover you in every circumstance that you need to be covered. Indemnity insurance, and it's available through betterplans.net. And this is your opportunity to save on insurance. Plans for as little as $145 per month for a single, and even greater savings for families. When we looked at this, I mean, it was $2,000, and that was years ago. So go check them out, betterplans.net. I really feel like this is just absolutely the right advertiser for the Free Talk Live audience because all y'all out there are pinching your pennies. You're looking to save because you know that money is a pathway to freedom. Call them at 800-714-1802 to get a fast and free quote. It's 800-714-1802, and they've got a free ebook at betterplans.net. It's called Dirty Little Secrets. They've also got educational videos, and of course, you can get a quote there. Betterplans.net. Don't delay. Visit betterplans.net now or call 800-714-1802. 800-714-1802, betterplans.net. Let's go to the phones. Got Jet calling in. Jet, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello.
Hey, what's on your mind, Jet? It's good to hear from you.
Haven't called you for a while. I apologize for not being able to harass you more often. but I need Jay's help.
Okay. See what I can do for you.
Okay, there's a thing that I've been trying to persuade the hosts of Free Talk Live to do over the years, and I know you're
Jet, I just want to tell you, before you go on, Jet, I don't mean to interrupt, but I am going to. Ian picked up the headphones and put them on to hear your call. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, the title of my call is called Usurpation, and what I've been trying to persuade these monkeys for years is to eliminate this word government from the vocabulary completely. And
so I have a solution. It's right in front of me.
I'm going to give you those more solutions, but what are you thinking?
Oh, there's a printed piece of paper, big, bold. I can read it. It's about 10 foot away. It says, "Don't say government or government people.
Okay.
Say goons, tyrants, despots, parasites,
yeah.
thugs, mafia, gang, idiots, liars, thieves, lunatics, killers, gang members." I would say the only one that doesn't work is idiots because they're not idiots. They're very smart psychopaths, these government fellas.
Yeah. Well, here's the reason. This gang, or these gangs we call government, are just people. The people who rob you of your wages, the people who harass you for your car lights being out or your tags being expired, the people who punish you, make rules, for the personal choices that you make, are just other humans. They're other people, potentially even your neighbors or relatives.
They're religious fanatics. I mean, the government is the most dangerous religion. I mean, there was a young teenage boy who got his skull fractured because he did not, stand for the flag and take off his hat or something at some.
He wasn't sufficiently patriotic during the recitation of one of the particular patriotic
some
oaths
sports
that we
ball
have.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, let me get more into this concept of usurpation. Do you know what that is, right?
I do, but maybe you could just explain it briefly to the audience.
Well, usurpation simply is the fact that the people who are in charge because they say so. Every government on this planet has begun by simply saying something similar to this. We hereby grant ourselves the rights, powers, and authorities to grant ourselves rights, powers, and authorities.
Sounds accurate.
These Patriot Act thing that came up recently again, we're talking about people reauthorized. I mean, just the idea, the concept that they can just speak it out and people go, oh, okay. We hereby reauthorize ourselves to do things that we want to do. And if people could just understand that these are just other humans who are making up this craziness and nonsense over the rest of us, like I said, they could be your neighbor, your relative. That's what's going to change this whole world. And the first step is to work as hard as you can to eliminate that word government, because it's not a government. We call them gangs. We call them usurpers. They're just they're evil, evil, evil.
Yeah, there's really no functional difference between the most successful organized crime syndicate in a given geographic area and the government. I mean, yeah, you vote for the particular dons in this gang. They give you the you either believe that your votes are counted or you don't. That's beside the point. But they have this regalia. The likelihood that your vote has ever made a difference is near nil. But just the very fact that they allow you to express your opinion in the form of a vote, even if your opinion has never been meaningful, somehow that makes it all okay.
Here's the trick. If you can get into your mind somehow that these are other people who have absolutely no right to do anything that you don't have a right to do, that's where it all begins. And this is how these so-called gangs of calling governments have fallen for centuries and histories, and that's what will happen. So if you can, just do all you can to remove that word government from your vocabulary and get down to the specific. If some person did something, call that person out. If some small group did something, call that group out. But don't legitimize it anyway by calling them government.
Hey, Jet, have you ever heard of a guy named Curtis Richard Kallenbach by any chance?
No.
So anyways, Curtis Richard Kallenbach, his website, curtisrichardkallenbach.xyz, just start typing it in and it'll show up. He has explains a pretty good thing, and I actually really like it. I like the theory. It makes a lot of sense to me that we essentially don't have government. What we have is municipal corporations calling themselves governmental agencies. The suffix on the end of a word, AL, means similar to or like.
No, actually we don't. We have just other people, and that's where you need to get with your mind.
Well,
they're just other humans. They don't.
But they claim immunity.
They call themselves corporations. I don't care what they call themselves. I don't care what they claim or create. If you begin to look at them, talk to them, respond to them, and treat them as just other humans who have no more right, that's what's going to get you where you want to go.
Well, not really. The courts won't recognize that. If Mark trespasses on, if Mark reaches across and slaps me on the face and trespasses on my property, or something like that, then I can go after him. But when the state does the same thing, they claim this immunity, and because the state is a religion,
the state doesn't exist. This is what I'm trying to get across.
Jet, do you want to come back?
These are yeah.
Hold the line. 855-450-3733. Do you think this is true? Can you talk away the state? Can you change your vocabulary and finally be rid of it? Free Talk Live.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind, as Jet has done here, where we're talking about the concept, his concept, his theory that if we eliminate the use of the word government from our vocabulary, that we can, well, at the very least, it's a step down the road to eliminating this concept of the state. And the state is an organization that claims a monopoly privilege over the use of violence at a given landmass. And if you'd like to see this sort of thing happen, check out forkfest.party. ForkFest 2020 is going to be a big event. It's at Rogers Campground. It's going to be from June the 29th through July the 5th, and it was big last year, and we expect it to be bigger this year. There's no ticket cost, and you can do what you want. You just, make up your own good or service or speech or event or whatever it is you want to do. It's a great event at Rogers Campground. Again, the 29th of June through the 5th of July. And you can celebrate Independence Day there with other freedom-loving activists in the Shire, and you can relax, go camping with other liberty lovers, or create whatever experience you want others to have. Check it out. It's forkfest.party, like you eat pork with a fork, forkfest.party. And there's all kinds of links there on the unofficial website, forkfest.party.
What's really cool about ForkFest is a family I help out, mom, dad. They got 3 kids. They both work full-time jobs. They don't have much money left over, and they haven't done PorkFest in the last 3 years because they just can't afford it. And the thing is, with PorkFest, you got to buy a couple tickets, which they're not ridiculously expensive, but you also just can't buy a campsite for, say, Friday night and camp out Friday night and then go home Saturday afternoon, which is what this family would really like to do because that's within their budget. Well, I told them about ForkFest, and they just thought that was great, so they're really excited about going to ForkFest this year.
Let's go back to Jet calling in here on the lines. Jet, you're back on Free Talk Live, and there was Jay's rebuttal to your idea is well, the government, the courts, they won't let me get away with this.
Well, here's the deal. The people in these gangs right now are not the same people today as they were yesterday, and they're not going to be the same people as they will be tomorrow. And here's the deal. They take on this mindset, this authoritarian mindset. In other words, the students, the high school students of yesterday are now the cops of today. The college students, the law students of yesterday are now the legislators. It's a mindset, and we have to change the mindset of the people. What's happening in Hong Kong? What's happening in Bolivia? What's happening in these other countries? The people are recognizing that their rulers have no legitimacy. They have no right other than any other human being on this planet. They don't have a right to punish you for making personal choices. They don't have these rights. And that's why more people are coming to the understanding, and this is what it is. It's a change of mind. You have to change your mind. You have to come into the realization that other people don't get to push you around. Other people don't get to make rules over you. If they make rules, they can only apply to themselves or the group that adopts them. So that's the deal, is to help other people change their mind. And by using a term like government, it legitimizes this the role of some superior over an inferior. You get that?
Yep, and I don't disagree with you, but to take it one step further, I'd like to lay out that if you look at these so-called governments, and I don't call them governments because I don't believe, I believe governments are what the Articles of Confederation basically explain government are in this country. But going on, if you look at the United States essentially as a religion, and it's a religion where you worship these images, these ideologies, and just like other religions, they have this Bible, this Constitution. But just like the Catholics, a lot of religions don't really go by the actual Bible. They go by these doctrines, which are their interpretations of these Bible stories. And then there's all kinds of twists and everything. But the government can't interrupt your is restricted from regulating a religion. So if you are a willing participant or even an unwilling participant because you don't even know you're participating in a religion, the government can't step in and protect you from this religion. And if you read any town charter, it doesn't even use the word government. In the Keene and Palmer town charter are almost word for word these same international commercial code charters, and they don't even use the word government. They use the word governmental several times, and they call themselves municipal corporations.
And this is why it's all psychology. And this is why you have to change your psychology, and this is why you have to speak of these other people in a psychological manner, a psyop, a counter psyop, because you've been indoctrinated and people have been indoctrinated. They need to change their mindset, to change their view that other people don't get to do what they do. They don't get to push you around. They don't get to boss you around. They don't get to make rules.
Jet, what terms
That's my point.
What terms do you use instead of government? I mean, you can we've got up here. You can say government people, which I kind of like. But I mean, what terminology do you use when you describe them? Because I think that parasite, in some cases, when you're talking about politicians, you're talking about parasites. But when you're talking about the garbage man or the police officer or the fireman, I mean, this is more of a symbiotic relationship where, they've hooked up with the state. I mean, real services are produced in so much as security and fire protection and garbage collection and these sorts of things. These are things that would exist in the absence of a state.
Well, they're parasites also, but with golden pension retirement programs or golden parachute retirement programs.
Jet?
I avoid the universal. I try to get down as specific as possible. If some sheriff does something, you don't call him a sheriff. You don't call him the judge, Your Honor. You use their name. You use their organization, their whatever it is. In other words, whoever is doing the evil and the wrong thing. You don't just use some generic term. So that's what I do.
I like that. I mean, the Quakers did this with judges, and by the way, it got them thrown in jail. But this was hundreds of years ago, and that was their intention. They were very specific about using first and last names.
Yeah, and that's it. The idea is to treat yourself as just another person that they are. You have no more right than they do to oppress them than they do to you. And if you see them, talk to them, treat them as just other people. That's when a cop comes up to me on the street, I ask him, how can I help you? Because obviously he stopped me on the road because he needs my help, right?
I ask him, how can they help me? Because he's a public servant.
Yeah, okay, whatever it is. To get it, it's a mindset. It's all psychology, this whole thing of one person somehow moving from a high school or a college degree into a position of now they are your ruler. That's insanity to me. It's called usurpation. They only exist because they say they do. Their rules only apply because they say they do.
So, Jed, I got about one more minute here. What have you seen any success with this particular system that you're proposing in your own life or elsewhere?
Well, the success will come like planting any other seed of thought or idea. A lot of us didn't come to the level of libertarianism or freedom, just overnight. It was a gradual process, but the seeds were planted. The experiences that we had brought us there. To find out that this other person is treating me wrongly. This other person is treating me poorly, and why is that? Well, wait a minute. They don't have any right to do that. So the education starts out, verbally, then comes experientially. Then once, like you said, once you change your whole mindset, your concept of how the world should work.
Jet, thank you for the call.
The whole world to change.
Thank you for the call, sir. The number, 855-450-3733. You can give your thoughts on Jet's theories or anything else. 855-450-FREE, as in freedom, here on Free Talk Live.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective. Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-301-5435. That's 800-301-5435. 800-301-5435.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Going to get into your calls here in just one moment. Want to advise you that this is your opportunity to go to amp.freetalklive.com. That's AMP as in amp.freetalklive.com. We only use the funds there to advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live. It doesn't go to paychecks or anything like that. And Brody Mower is decided to become a gold amplifier, and we thank Brody for that. You can go to amp.freetalklive.com, and if you support the ideas of free speech and liberty, I believe it's a good use, the best use, in fact, of your Liberty dollar, Liberty charitable dollar. At amp.freetalklive.com. Let's go back to the phones. Dissident calling in on the AMP-only call-in lines. Dissident, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey guys, how you guys doing tonight?
All's well.
Hey, I wanted to talk about that last caller. I was talking about him in the chat. I was like, why don't I just call in last segment, see if I can get on?
His name was Jet. Yeah, he's been a long-time listener of Free Talk Live.
There's definitely more people listening than there are viewing the chat. So thank you for calling in.
Oh, yeah. My honest reaction to that guy, and I have heard him several times before, I think it's, to borrow a phrase from the Discord chat, a load of malarkey. Like, you saying that I don't, calling them a government gang and saying that I'm not covered under the Universal Commercial Code, or I don't have a contract with you. Or
I don't think he said that.
No,
I think
said
that's Jay.
Okay. I don't know exactly.
All Jet's saying is that he wants to basically create a psychological shift in the world population because, currently the word government instills a certain amount of respect and fear when, it's probably undue.
Probably a lot of fear. But I was thinking, when you're pulled over, when you're paying your taxes, just saying that they're a gang doesn't get you out of the situation, doesn't get you untased, it doesn't get the time you spend in jail reduced or that time back to you. Can't go back and change that. So I don't know. For the realities for a lot of people, as people face oppression by the so-called government gang every day, but I do agree when it comes to saying a world shift. I don't think you can just say it, I want to make a world shift and just have it happen, but I certainly love to see it. The whole idea that for another example, I guess my big thing, the one that really gets my goat. Now I'm kind of sympathizing with the guy, but the one that I focus on is saying that when you're talking about the actions of people in another place, you say California did this, or Canada did this, or Iraq did this, or Japan did this. When you're almost always referring to their government or very close associates of their government.
I think that's confusing and it's deadly, honestly. So if Iraq has done something terrible to the United States, then of course it's obvious the United States should react to that. Well, wait a second. There is no Iraq and there is no United States. This is just a bunch of people. And this is like when I, oftentimes I'll be asked the question, are you a U.S. citizen, right? I don't know, you're at the bank, you're whatever.
Oh, I say that's a really vague statement. Define United States.
I say the criminal organization doing business as the United States government claims me as its citizen. Yes. And they look at me.
Oh, so you accept it.
And then they look down. And then they go on. But at the very least, I've taken the moment to tell them that this is a criminal organization and citizenship is the terminology they use.
How about, this criminal organization calling themselves United States has, claims me as one of theirs, and I don't agree, but men with guns will hurt me unless I go along, or something like that.
It gets a little more complicated as you go on, but yes, I'm with you. And a lot of times the next thing out of their mouth is if you have a discussion with somebody about calling the United States government a criminal organization, one of the first things to do is North Korea or Iran or whatever. One of these things is going to be mentioned. Whoa! Just because I think that one state is bad does not mean that I think that somehow another state is better. And people live in a comparative paradigm in many cases.
I love asking those people, how much time did you spend in North Korea or Iran?
Right. What do you know about North Korea? Dissident, anything else?
Just to further what I was saying, when it comes to viewing viewing people in other countries as a country or as a people instead of conflating with the government, you have to realize that, look, let's be entirely honest with you here. There's a lot of problems. There's a lot of systemic problems. There's a lot of historic problems in this country. But you don't have it. The average person in this country doesn't have it a tenth as bad as many of these people do in other countries. So
100%.
I'm pretty sure they despise their government. Look at Iraq right now. Every day they're being shot. Unarmed protests are being shot into, and they go out again and again and again every day, every week.
Yeah, well, that's what they said in Cuba, that there's a difference between the Cuban people and the Cuban government, and we know there's a difference between the U.S. people and the U.S. government. Thanks for the call, Dissident.
And there'll be a huge difference if they're ever able to enforce draconian gun laws so they can disarm the American people, which they're already doing a little bit of, but the left is working really hard, and the right is okay with most of what the left wants to do with our gun rights.
I think you've hurt the feelings of some of the people in the chat room when you say that there's far more people listening than are there in the chat room. You can go to the chat by going to discord.freetalklive.com, and you can chat with Dr. Sniffers and Old Gravy Legs right in there, along with Dissident and so many more at discord.freetalklive.com. Let's go to David calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Is that you hitting a bong?
Oh man, you woke me up. Oh,
I see. That's you snoring.
You finally have no other callers?
I'm terribly sorry, David. I had a window on the computer over the phone bank software, so there was a period of time there that I didn't know that you were on hold.
Yeah, likely story.
Well, that's
what they told you to say it. That's what they told you to say, isn't it?
Who is they, and how much did they give me to say it?
It can happen.
It's those people.
They, them, those.
Yes, that's who they are, and everybody knows who they are, and they know who they are.
All right, get on with your call because I have a question for you.
Well, just ask me okay. We're not going to get to what I wanted to tell you, so let me tell you the fun stuff. You did it again.
As I do.
I had a client once, and he was in the Navy, and he was a SEAL, and he was a sniper. And if you remember those Somalis dragging that dead American around behind the Jeep, you remember them?
Yeah, that was the Black Hawk Down thing, right?
Yeah. You remember how several of them were knocked down by a single sniper from 2,000 yards away?
How is that possible?
All right. That guy was my client.
Oh, okay. So an American sniper.
Yeah, American sniper, Navy SEAL.
With a Barrett's?
When they were dragging that body, or
it's just a guy that made a movie about.
Around. Yeah.
So what did I do?
Chris something, right?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It's been too long ago. It was Jackson, Wyoming.
All right. Here's my question for you, David. So you, maybe I've got the wrong picture of you, but I've got this sort of desert hermit picture of you. You go to the grocery store once every 6 months. You've got an old Ford Ranger that you manage to keep chugging along. You rarely get out and drive. You've managed to keep your bills down very, very low. You pay almost nothing in taxes, and your housing costs are nil because you got a little hut in the desert. My question is this. You're getting power. I presume you're getting internet. You're getting a variety of things. You've got a cell phone somehow. How do you pay bills? Do you go and get money orders? Do you pay it online through online checking? How's this work?
I pay bills over the internet or the telephone using a credit card or debit card.
So just the same old way everybody else does. I was kind of curious as to, whether there was a much more complicated way of going on this. So
yeah, the way I do it.
Yeah, what do you do? I don't
have a credit card.
You don't even have a bank account, right?
No, I ain't got any of that stuff. I try to do business where I use cryptocurrency, or I pay the electric bill. I go to Walmart and I pay the electric bill in cash. The
Walmart, you can pay an electric bill at Walmart?
Yeah, you can pay your Eversource bill at Walmart in Manchester. That's what we do.
I had no clue.
Hey, there's going to be no Freer Talk Live tonight, just so get it in there before the show's done.
Right. So normally you have this after show called Freer Talk Live, and unfortunately that's not going to be happening tonight. You've got to get going, and most of your co-hosts are away for the holidays. David, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. The number, 855-45... Why am I giving the cell phone number while the closing music, or the call-in number while the closing music's playing? Go to freetalklive.com and do as Jade has done this evening and sign up for our Telegram group where you can get all the show prep that we talk about at telegram.freetalklive.com. That's telegram.freetalklive.com. It's just another way to stay in touch with Free Talk Live.
Taxation is theft.
Would it be nice to wake in the morning whenever you want and work whenever you feel like it? Date women under your terms instead of society's? Be a completely free man? I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Come to our free webinar with a live Q&A with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,475, silver at $16.85, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,197. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online